Good morning, guys. How we doing? Welcome to another live stream. Friday. Today, I don't know. Today I sort of just want to chill, to be quite honest. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not really feeling much here this morning, but we're gonna look at some stuff, get a feel for what's going on. End of the week into a long weekend is something that we have to be careful of. All right. So you have a long weekend. Monday the market is closed, and that could cause some low volume, some choppy action. If I start to see that pretty early, I'm gonna be out of here very early to enjoy my weekend. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we might be able to get something today. I'm going to be a little surprised if we get big action today, just because of the long weekend, because of the channel that we're trading in. We're we're in a pretty defined channel on the Nasdaq and on a lot of individual stocks, pretty much in a chop zone. So I'm definitely gonna be very cautious today, especially on a Friday, 0 DTE. Going to be small trades, scaling down, and making sure that I do not, get too aggressive on a day where I personally believe right now could be pretty choppy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll go over some names today. There is a few things that I like, a few trades that I do like that I'm looking for. So we'll go over those, and well, then we'll just get our new month started. So welcome to July. Hope everyone had a good June, and let's start the month off right. So, all right. So July 1st, futures, economic earnings calendar. Really not much on the earnings or the economic side of things today, guys. We have a manufacturing PMI around 945, but that's about it. Really don't have much on the docket for the economic side of things. So we don't need to worry too much about that. Tesla, we'll look at Tesla like every other day. Look at some levels. Google, I'll show you guys that rejection that I played yesterday off 22.25. FedEx, really key level today on FDX. This is one of the trades that I do like. I'm going to watch this. It's breaking below a key level. The XLE held demand at 70. I think this could be interesting. Going to watch that today. Semiconductors, very weak. You guys saw Micron report earnings. Stock is down off earnings. AMD, Nvidia, TSM all look pretty weak this morning. I'm going to see if I can ride that continuation. We'll see, right? Sometimes you think something's going to be weak out of the gates or weak all day, and it surprises you. So we got to wait for that confirmation. But there's definitely some things I'm watching on these chip stocks. Amazon, key level at 106. This is something I'm watching today pretty closely. You got Microsoft at a potential support demand zone at 254. And then Snow, something I'm watching under 140. So that's about the best things I found so far this morning. I'm sure there's more that we'll see intraday. But as of right now, a lot of these stocks that I'm going to show you guys today, or a lot of stocks that maybe I didn't put into the calendar, like Apple, Apple, we have Tesla, we have Shopify, some of the usual stocks I trade that are sort of just in a pretty choppy area. So that's why I want to be a little bit careful today. So that's what I have for you guys on the calendar. Let's just go ahead and start it off. Let's go ahead and start it off with the futures. So here's the futures, guys, right? You guys can see, I mean, since, I don't know, let's call it since the 10th of June, which is about 3 weeks now, we have basically been doing nothing within this zone. Between 12,250 and 11,000, we've sort of just been chopping. I mean, we've gotten some nice days, some nice upside, some nice downside, some tradable opportunities. But, if you were to net where we actually moved, you probably would say the median, or the mean is like right here. Let's say the mean is right around 11.7. We've basically gone nowhere, right? So we continue to be pretty, it's still very indecisive, right? How do you swing trade in an environment like this? You just can't. You just don't know what the next day holds, and that's why, I continue to be a scalper in this market. So Nasdaq, you can see we had that uptrend. We tried to hold it here, and we tried to hold it onto the upside, pushed into that previous rejection point. Very nice rejection, break under the uptrend, right? You can see we rejected that 11,750 area. Previous rejection, 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 rejection. So 4 tops there, right at 11,750. It's clear as day, guys, right? You can't be bullish unless you see this break. That's at least my opinion. You cannot be bullish unless you see this level right here break to the upside. This whole area needs to break to the upside, right? If you don't see a break above here, then it's tough to be someone that's looking for upside, because that is clearly a supply that the market does not want to get above as of right now. To the downside, you have the demand that's sitting around 11.3. You can see here, we held this support, we held this support, we held this support, we held this support, we held this support. So you have this range right here between 11,750 and 11.3 that it looks to be where the market wants to trade for now. I personally like to trade on days where we're getting the breaks to either directions, right? Those are the best trading days. The trading days where you get the moves below key levels or above key levels. Those are the days where we get a nice move, continuation, easy trading, not as choppy. So today, when I look at this, I'm looking at this saying, this could just be another day that does this, right? This could just be another day that does nothing but trades within this range. And that is a day that I really don't care to be involved in. So this is my opinion as we start the morning, but we'll have to see what happens, of course. So I'm watching 11.3. I'm watching 11.7, 11.750 to the upside. You can see yesterday was a weak day. We barely made it to the previous day highs. We actually didn't make it to the previous day highs. We tried to push up. We failed right at the previous day levels. So yesterday does not instill any confidence to the upside, right? You can see we tried to push and failed once again. So no strength there. Still moving to the downside, still trending downwards. The trend is still downward here in the short term. We'll have to see if we get a test of the 11.3. That's what you would want to look for today. Maybe a test of the 11.3, see if it holds or breaks, or if we get a big push, look for the test of the Wednesday highs around 750. So as of right now, guys, it's a little bit of a questionable move today, right? We have Friday, long weekend, really tight chop area here. Not much action that we've seen over the last few days. Do I want to get aggressive on a day like that? Not so much, right? Not so much. So just being careful in this area here on the Nasdaq, guys, watching out for that. Here's the ES, very similar, right? You have the uptrend that failed. You have the FOMC high around 3840 and the 3800 level. You can see that we tried to get above 3800 yesterday and failed it, right? So 3800, 3840, some big levels above. For the ES to get bullish, I would want to see a move above this level, 3840. I would need to see us break this level. Maybe that causes some upside, but you have to break this supply in this area here. Notice taking a lot more trades early in the morning just after open. Chef, it's mostly because I don't know if you've seen lately, but the action really is between 9:30 and 10:30 lately. After 10:30, it usually slows down. So I'm always looking to see what I can catch in the morning, just because of the nature of the market recently. The afternoons have been pretty hard to judge and pretty low volume. So just being careful there. Also, Chef, I've had a newfound love for getting out of my office by 12 o'clock. It's been a game changer for me mentally. It's been a game changer for my trading performance and my mental, and my mentality and my personal life. It's been nice to not look at the charts all day, which I used to do more than I do now. And it's something that I want to stop doing because it was just not good for me. Being on the charts more didn't result in better profits, and it made me, I think just less, not something that I wanted to do. So anyways, ES, you can see 3800, 3840. You can see that supply above that needs to break. Downside supports at 3735, 3740. You can see it right here, guys. All this support, and the support that we've seen in the last 2 days. So you are in call it about a 65 to 70 point range on the ES, guys, right here. It's about a 65 to 70 point range. And if we don't get out of that range today, it's going to be an absolute chop fest, Friday 0 DTE, premium murdering day. And you're not going to want to be involved in that. You're not going to want to be involved in this if this market chops in a 60 point range today. It's going to be ugly, especially on 0 DTE. So watch out for that. If we get out to either side, great, right? Then there's some trades, but we got to see it get out of there. The Dow is within a range as well, right? Same exact type of idea. You can see previous highs on the Dow. We got below it. We broke and retested. We rejected now. This is now turning into resistance where it was previous support. You guys see right here, support into resistance. Bearish technical formation. However, chop range right here. 30,800, 30,200, 250, chop range, right? What happens in between here? it's near impossible to tell if this candle goes this way or if this candle goes this way today. It's pretty much impossible to judge. So we have to wait to see, do we break that high or do we break this low? Inside this range, I think it's a pretty dangerous area to be getting aggressive in. Russell, same exact thing. Same exact thing on all the indices today. You are below the previous support that turned into resistance, that is turning into resistance again. You are in a range of about 40 points, 30 to 40 points on the Russell. So all the indices, guys, are looking the exact same. They are all in a chop range from back 2 weeks ago. You are sitting there. To me, I want to see a test of either side to get interested in a really quality trade setup. So that's the futures, guys. This is why I'm not feeling, like I want to get too aggressive. You can clearly see all the ranges that we have here. Tesla. So one thing that I'm watching on Tesla, I think this is the only trade setup that I really see on Tesla today, unless it just goes in a direction that's clear and obvious that we can just catch. Unless that happens, the only thing I'm really watching here is a rejection off 690, right? Rejection off 690. You guys can see it right here. You have a previous support, previous support, previous support. You have a rejection point. You have a support point, and a double top rejection point. So I don't need to really explain the importance of this level. You can clearly see it here. 690 is a big level on Tesla. If I see a weak push this morning into 690 and I see the market start to fail, let's say the 690 push aligns with a push into yesterday's highs on the Nasdaq, or let's say a 690 push aligns with a push into 3800 on the ES, and I start to see those levels fail on the futures contracts, and I see Tesla sitting at 690, I'm going to be interested to play that rejection, because if I think the futures fail, Tesla will fail as well. And that is why you need to be watching the futures contracts. So if I see a push into 690 on Tesla, that is one trade idea that I have today, looking for that rejection at that double top this week. If I see Tesla just give it up today and start failing these lows, then of course I'll be interested as well. If I start to see this, then I'll be interested in that as well. But if Tesla stays within here, I have no interest, right? I have no interest trading Tesla in that range. So watch out for that. As you guys know, I would really hope you watched my video yesterday. If you didn't, I recommend you do. It was 2 trades that we talked about in this live stream to the exact T. Tesla, gap fill rejection, and Google 2225 rejection. We talked about both of those yesterday, and they came perfectly true. So I hope you do watch that video from yesterday. There's live trading in there if you enjoy that as well. All right, Google. We talked about 2225, right? And you can see what happened yesterday. We rejected right off that level. Why did we see this level? Why is it easy to spot this level? Just look at the past, guys, right? Support, just look to the left. Support, rejection, support, rejection, support, rejection. So if we're below 2225, it's a rejection. If we're above 2225, it's a support. So just right now we are trading below 2225. So to me, I think this is a rejection point. So I'm looking to see what happens today. I don't have any insight here, right? I don't have insight on Google. There's nothing here. It's in a zone. Google's in the center of a zone. It's in the center of 2225 to 2125. You are right in the middle of it. So how do I know what happens on Google today? Something I'm probably not going to trade today, but I just want to point out these levels. Next downside move, 2125. Rejection point above at 2225. FedEx. This is a trade I'm interested in today. This is a trade I'm interested in today. Here's why. As you guys can see, FedEx pushed higher. I forgot what this was. I think this was the increase in the quarterly dividend, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you can see the big pop to the upside. You can see it broke over previous resistance, and it turned it into support, right? Support, support, support. Now, what is it doing in the pre-market today? If you look at it in the pre-market today, we have given up this level, right? We have given up this level. 22.25 has been lost. We are below it in the pre-market. So I'm looking at FedEx, and here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see, does FedEx push back to the upside and reject this level as a supply? Do we turn the previous double bottom support, really triple bottom support, and push it back to the downside? Do we reject the triple bottom support, turn it into resistance, and push us back to the downside? Why do I like this trade so much? Because if I look at this chart, look at this. If I look at this chart and I see this straight upside and I see us starting to get into that, my belief is that if we move this quick to the upside, we could move this quick to the downside. So I'm looking to see if FedEx wants to lose this level, right? If FedEx loses this level, I will be interested in playing that to the downside. For Sadie, I usually use the daily 4 hour, 1 hour for my longer term analysis. FedEx. XLE. So the XLE is at demand after rejecting that 77. You can see it right here, right? Let me get more time, actually. There we go. We are right back at that 70 point. So let's see, right? Let's see. Support here. You're bouncing off it again. Could we get another move towards that 75, 77? We'll have to see. I don't know yet because this is a pretty nasty rejection point. So do I want to be in here? I don't think so. After seeing that reaction to 77, it's a little bit less trustworthy to me. So if I go to the hourly chart, you can clearly see here, we got a little bit of a bottom here at 70. Seems to be holding. It is up in the pre-market, the energy sector. So do we get some strength on energy off this 70 level again? That's something I'll be watching today. Not so sure I'll be someone trading it. You know, you might be able to get a little push into this 74, 75. That's possible. Maybe another move into here, right? Before a potential rejection. But the demand is there. It's holding strong again this morning and yesterday. So maybe we watch to see if we get anything on the energy sector here off 70. I would watch stocks like CVX, like XOM, like Oxy, all right, sitting at demand. Oxy sitting at demand as well. So I would watch to see, do these stocks bounce off this demand? That's something I've been monitoring. Haven't had a trade yet, but something I'm monitoring. Okay, MU. So MU has earnings. You guys can see it is down pretty nicely in the pre-market right here. Here's the 1 minute chart. Here's earnings, and here's your continuation. You can see it's very much weakening, right? Weakening pretty nicely on MU. If I go to the 4 hour chart, you can first see that it has broken a previous support here. You have broken a shelf here. You can see right here under 55. We have broken that level right there. So MU under 55 looks to be weakening, right? Could be some earnings continuation to the downside. If we zoom out, go to the daily chart, you guys can see we're sort of entering this pretty choppy area. So I don't like trading MU today, but I like looking at the other chip stocks for sympathy. So MU seems to be coming down. It's at 52 right now. So you're basically trading right in this area, right? And this has a lot of choppiness over here. So I don't quite know what MU is going to do as we start to trade into these areas. You can see we're trading right around 52 this morning, which is right around this zone. So don't love MU for a trade. What I am watching is these interesting things on TSM and AMD. Let me show it to you now. So here's TSM, guys. You can see TSM is moving lower as well this morning because of MU earnings. What I'm watching on TSM is this zone right here. This zone piques my interest because I know that if we drop 76, we are going to move within this zone. If I show you, I don't even need to show you. I already know what it looks like, but I will show you just so you can understand. If you see something like this on the chart, you can bet that the volume is going to be minuscule in that area. Wow, volume on TSM is minuscule in general. Holy crap. Look at this. Look at this. There's nothing there. I mean, it's almost as if the stock went up without any volume. I mean, it is extremely light. So you guys can see right here on the volume profile, between 76 and 60, there is virtually no volume. If we drop 76 on TSM, you are going to move to 60 extremely quickly. This is something I am very interested in, and you can see this is something I have an alert for. At 76.50, I want to know if TSM is starting to move towards 76. I want to make sure I don't miss this, because this looks interesting to me. What else has a chart that looks just like this? AMD. If you look at AMD and you look at below the 72.50 level, shout out to Chris Jones in the chat. I appreciate you pointing this out because I only saw it on TSM. Right here. Between 76 or 72.50 and 60, right in this general area, you can clearly see the lack of volume, guys, right? It's not hard to see. You see peak, trough, empty volume, peak, trough, no volume, peak, right? So see this area right here? That is very interesting. This area right here between 72.50 and 60, that is very interesting to me. That is something I definitely want to watch. So if AMD drops 72.50, I have an alert and I want to know. Is that the same level? Okay, 76.50 on TSM, 72.50 on AMD. I would absolutely put those on your charts, guys. I don't think Nvidia has... Yeah, Nvidia is a little bit different. Nvidia doesn't quite have that clear gap. So, looking at that, guys, AMD and TSM in a very low volume gap. That could be a very nice trade. Something I would be watching. Amazon. Okay. I am watching the 106 level on Amazon today. Here's why. So 106, you can see, is a pretty important level. It has held its rejection, support, and it's trying to hold it today. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you're going to see, look how strong it tried to hold 106 yesterday. Look at this yesterday. It got below it. It popped right back in there. 106, 106, 106, 106, all morning, 106. Trying its best to hold on to this level. If we lose 106, which we're starting to lose this morning, you can see it's actually turning it into resistance right now. If we start to see 106 act as resistance, then I think you are moving lower, right? I think you are moving lower back towards the 102s, 100s. So watching Amazon for a loss of 106, looking to see it needs to clearly reject 106. It needs to make it blatantly obvious that it does not want to get back above 106. If I see that, I'm going to look for the downside today. Okay. Microsoft. Interesting chart here on Microsoft. If I go to the hourly, you can see this is a very big level that Microsoft is at. Previous flush, rejection, support. So, why is this level important? It's a level of interest, right? 254. Very important level on Microsoft, right? 254. It is sort of flagging down into it. This could go both ways. This I'm not bearish or bullish on. This is either a really nice bull flag, which I would love to see in an actually strong market. Not something I'm that confident. If the market was up, guys, if this year we were up 20, 30%, 15% on the ES, on the Nasdaq. Hold on. If you see me keep looking over here, it's because I have the Silverstone Grand Prix up. I'm watching the practice round right now. If the ES was up 10, 15% on the year, I would be all over this bull flag, right? I would be confident that this would break. However, that is not the situation we're in. So we're either going to break this flag and hold this as a demand zone, or we're going to break it. If we break it, we're moving back down to 243, right? If we break 254, we're going to 243, right? Or if somehow the market turns bullish here in the short term, maybe Microsoft tries to break this flag. Either way, level of importance on Microsoft, definitely something I'd be monitoring. Okay, next I have Snow. So as you guys know, I've sort of been watching Snow, looking to see, does this move fade that we've seen over the last week? I've been watching this rejection point here. Previous rejection, right? So double top rejection there. Snow is now below 140, right? It is now below 140. So I will be watching today. I will be looking to see, does Snow stay below 140? If it does, all right, if Snow maybe pushes back in, rejects it again, I will be looking for that downside. Because if I go back to the hourly chart, I know that this move was very quick to the upside. You can see how quickly this pushed. So if we are back below this level, if it goes up this quick, right, I believe it can go down that quick. So 140, looking for the rejection there today. If that happens, Snow could possibly lose some of this upside. All right, so watching that. What else? I think I want to show you Costco. Costco is still sort of working on that flag pattern that I was talking about. You can see it's still under 490. This trade is invalidated if it goes over 490, right? If you go over 490, the bear flag is no longer valid. If you continue to reject 490, right, then the bear flag is still valid. Maybe you need to wait. I mean, you have to wait for this to be clear, right? It still hasn't broken the uptrend. One thing that I think Tesla's slightly higher in the pre-market this morning, guys. I think that's because of NIO's delivery numbers. Maybe some small sympathy off that. You can see NIO had delivery numbers this morning. So possibly some sympathy on Tesla there. Not sure I'm going to trade Tesla based off that information, but we'll see. That's just something to be aware of, guys. Let's go over Apple. So Apple, 4-hour chart. Here's the big thing that happened on Apple, guys. If I go to the, actually, no, let's go hourly. This is the big thing that happened on Apple. We have lost 138 as support, right? We have lost 138 as support. Previous rejection, tried to hold as support. On the retest, failed, rejection. Look at yesterday's price action. Look at this. Look at where it rejected to the T yesterday, guys. Double top right at 138. That is not a bullish thing. For us to double top right at 138, a level that needed to hold, that is a bearish sign for me on Apple. So I would look for Apple to be weak if the Nasdaq's weak. I would expect Apple to move back down to this next level. When I see a stock that's trading in the range, just think about the levels as, you know, they have to be tested. So if you're below this high, I would always assume that the stock needs to test this low. If you're at the low and you hold, you would probably test this high, right? The stocks want to change, they want to trade towards these supply demand levels. It's not going to just sit in between this level for the most part, unless a total market sentiment change, unless something drastically comes out and Apple just pops. I always feel, at least in my trading, that if I see a stock push up into supply, it's going to want to come to demand. If it pushes up to supply, it's going to want to come back down to that demand, right? So that's something I'm watching. I think Apple will try to eventually slide into this 132.50. All right, Mr. TNT, I'll see you in there. Gold sauce. So that's Apple. That's about all that I had, guys. It's a pretty light day. I don't see much stuff out there. I have a few. My favorite watches today is Amazon under 106. It's FedEx under this 225, and it's the continuation on the chip stocks. You can see Nvidia's making new lows right now. AMD's making new lows right now. MU is really killing the chip names here. TSM's making new lows. So, yeah, I mean, I think if I had to have three, I would look at FedEx to the downside, Amazon off 106, and the chip stocks. You can see Nvidia's getting pretty messed up right now. Yeah. So let's take a look at Nvidia real quick. Once Nvidia lost 155, guys, that was it. And I should have swing trade. I should have taken a swing trade here. I don't know why I didn't. I just don't trust swing trades as much right now. But you can clearly see, as soon as we lost 155, look at what it did yesterday, guys. It's this is just some beautiful stuff. This is the stuff that should get you excited, because this is how you trade. To be honest, this is how you trade right here. I mean, this is a real example of how you trade these names. So you can clearly see there was previous support, demand at 155, right? Very clear and obvious. You tried to hold it on Wednesday. Look at what happened when we tried to break above it yesterday. Look at what happened when we tried to break above it yesterday. It was the absolutely perfect rejection. Right at the previous demand level, turning it into a rejection. There is nothing more bearish than a previous demand turning into supply. And looking at the rejection that we had there. Look at that candle. Look at that wick rejection. This is clear as day, right? And yeah, that looks really nice. So really nice stuff there on Nvidia. Micron's earning does not help that at all. It definitely hurts. You can see we are clearly under this demand. We have turned it into a rejection, and I would think that this continues. The next level that I'm watching on Nvidia, if I go to the 4 hour, get a little bit more time here. The next level that I'm watching on Nvidia, I know this is small, but this is the only way I can visualize it, is right here, guys. This area right here, that is 135.50 or 134.50. That's my next level. 134.50 on Nvidia. That is where I think it can drop to. Right here, 134.50. All right. Let's go to the stocks that you guys want to look at. I hope you guys get a good idea of what we're looking at today. The semiconductor weakness does look pretty nice today. So definitely something I'm watching. All right, so the stocks that you guys have for me today, D-Dog, Datadog. So perfect. I mean, I hope you caught this. Whoever puts this on the ticker form, I really hope you caught this, right? So you can see it's just another perfect rejection, right? We were watching D-Dog go up last week. Look at what happened. The market's not. I hate to say this, and I know you can't really say trading's not hard, market's not hard to understand, but this is not really difficult stuff to understand here, guys, right? So you can see, just look at this. It's happened 3 times. Look at the bottom. The one problem that people have, right? The one problem that people have is they buy into these straight upside moves. They chase this without realizing that there is this here, right? So you should be a put seller here or put buyer here and a call buyer here. This is against the grain, right? Most people would like to see, I'm going to buy puts because I think it's going to break all-time lows, or I'm going to buy calls here because I think it's going to break out. That is the inverse of what you should be thinking. I'm going to buy puts here off a triple top rejection point. I know the market's weak. This should continue with the market. I'm going to buy calls here. I wouldn't buy calls here personally, just to be honest with you. I would leave this alone. This would not be a trade for me, and not in this market. If the market was bullish, I'll buy calls here. But with the market being as bearish as it is, I'd rather just be a put buyer at the top. So beautiful, guys. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. Walmart's sitting in demand, right? It's sitting in demand with the rejection point at 124.50, 125. So same thing, guys. I would be looking to buy off the demand and sell off the rejection, right? That's what I'd look for. Buy off the demand, put buyer into the rejection. That's what I'd look for. Same exact thing, channel trading like every other stock that we've seen. Okay, Baba. Baba's just stuck in this range. I would just watch this uptrend. You can see rejections at 120, right here, right here, right here, right here, right? 120 is a tough level. I would just monitor this uptrend. It's either going to try to hold that uptrend or it's going to try to crack that uptrend. You can see it's held it very nicely in the past. So watch for the uptrend here, around 111, right in this general area. That's what I'd watch for. Neo had delivery numbers. This is a nice little break and retest here. You can see previous rejection into support. So let's see, does the delivery numbers give it some juice? That's what I look for. Nice little break and retest there. Just watch out for 24. Watch out for 24. Okay, Zoom. I'm not sure why we're still looking at Zoom, but yeah, just a really clean, this break and retest clearly did not happen. You can clearly see the rejection. Rejection. Same exact thing as every other stock, guys. Rejection. Same exact thing. Google, we looked at. OVV. Yeah, I would look for demand. A rejection. Demand. Let's see if it bounces again. You just got to watch out for supply. That turned into support. That was a previous rejection. Right? So if you do get a push, you're going to move up to 50. This is your range. So watch out for 42 to hold and 50 to reject. I would not be a put buyer at the demand zone. You got to see the downside move, right? Okay. Finally, Dollar Tree. It's been doing absolutely nothing. That's what I'll say. I mean, this is about 2 weeks of price action, and it's done zero. I mean, it's done nothing. Don't even look at it. I wouldn't trade it until you see it actually do something. It's like that meme where you need to poke it with a stick because it's not going to provide anything for you here. It's trying to hold this 155. It's stuck under this downtrend. If it loses this level, maybe you move into this downward move, but it's doing absolutely nothing. All right, that's all I got for you. Short live stream. It's Friday. I wanna get started. I wanna get my day over. I would say, let me go over the futures real quick, and then I'll give you my top 3 watches, and then we'll jump out of here. So futures, it's just a chop fest today, guys. This is what I don't like about the futures today. I'll repeat what I said earlier. You're in a range. Chop range here between 11.7, 11.3. No insight as to where it goes. ES chop range between 3,800 and 3,740. Complete chop range. You're right in the middle of the range. No insight as to where it goes. The Dow, complete chop range between 30,800, 30,200. Absolutely no insight as to where this goes inside this chop range. And the Russell, in between a chop range of 1710 and 1680. Absolutely no insight as to where it goes. That's why I'm a little bit cautious of today, because you can see we are just in these zones. You are right in the general area. Top watches for me today is FedEx under 225, looking for that continuation. Nvidia for downside into 135, right? Downside into 135 with the continuation of weakness on the chip stocks. And AMD as it approaches this huge shelf level at 7260. And TSM as it approaches that huge shelf level at 7600. If you want to get the technical analysis that I provide here on the ES and the Nasdaq, which is the SPY and the QQQ, for everyone that continues to ask for the SPY and the QQQ, there is a free Discord down below. It says free technicals. Join that. I post the futures levels that I chart here out every single day. So if you missed the stream, if you ask for the SPY and the QQQ, just go to that free Discord. It's all there. If you want to get technical analysis on individual stocks, like the stuff that I do after the futures, you can upgrade your subscription in that chat as well. And of course, if you want to trade live with me every day, down below it says trade live with me. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. There's not going to be a stream Monday unless I'm feeling, like I want to do something. Probably not. I think I'm actually going to be, I don't know. I might be away. I'm not sure what I'm doing this weekend. Did I already stream? Are you okay? Is everything all right, James? All right, guys. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Digital creator, reach out to me somewhere else, like on my Instagram, or go to my website. It says contact me at the bottom. Go to my website, digital creator. At the bottom, it says contact me directly. Give me some information there. I can reach out. I can help. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic day. Please press the like button before you head out. Subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic weekend. Markets close Monday. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace out.